This video will get your cruise off to a flying start and help you make the most out of every day. Tip number 1. If you haven't paid for priority boarding, please ensure that you check in online as soon as you can. When you've booked your cruise, have a look and see what day you can check in. Make a note of this somewhere and make sure that as soon as you can, you check in, because you will be given a boarding time. That boarding time is your time to board the ship. The sooner you board the ship, the sooner you can start the drinking, start the eating, start the chilling by the pool, and start the relaxing. Tip number 2. Make sure you've got your swimwear and your sun cream in your hand luggage and anything else you might need for those first few hours, because your suitcases will take a couple of hours to find your room. So get ahead of the crowds, get your swimwear in your hand luggage. When you're on board, you can go and get changed in one of the toilets, get yourself in the hot tub, and get that first cocktail into you. Tip number 3. Head straight to the buffet. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just go straight to that buffet, because if you are not up there ready for opening time at that buffet, you will struggle to find a seat. If there's just 2 of you, you might manage it, but if you're a family of 3, 4, 5, if you're a big group, you will not get a table together. The buffets on boarding day are crazy, so make sure you get yourself up there nice and early. The sooner you're in that buffet, the sooner your holiday starts. Tip number 4. Now you have to muster. Make sure that you do your muster. If you do not, the ship cannot leave. You should be told your muster station upon boarding. If you haven't been told your muster station, just find a member of crew and ask them where you're to go, and they will point you in the right direction. It's very important that you do this process, because if you don't, the ship cannot leave port. And if you do not muster, you will be named and shamed. When that ship's getting ready to leave, if you haven't mustered, they will announce your name over the tannoy. And let's be fair, you don't want to be that person. Tip number 5. So you've got a full belly, you've mustered, you sat in the hot tub. What do you do now? Do your reservations. You need to go onto the app and reserve any shows you want to do. If you want to do any of the dining, this is now when you do it. The reservations go very quickly, so please do not miss out and get in there early. Tip number 6. When you walk around the gift shops, if you see something, buy it, because if you don't and it sells out, they cannot get another delivery. When you're in the middle of that ocean, they cannot get a fridge magnet delivered because that's the one you wanted. So to avoid disappointment, if you see it, buy it. Tip number 7. If there's any onboard activities that you want to do, please make sure you do them early. This is to avoid disappointment. For example, when we was on the Harmony of the Seas, the kids wanted to do the rock wall. We kept delaying it. We'll do it tomorrow. We decided that we would do it on our last day, and unfortunately, when the kids were halfway up the wall, the rain came in and they had to come down. The rock wall got closed and that was it. They didn't have another opportunity. So make sure you get those activities in early. Plan your days, because you don't want to miss out. Tip number 8. On sea days, if you want to have a lazy day by the pool, please make sure you get there early, because if you don't, you will not get a seat by the pool. One thing I will say is, do not be that person. Do not be the one that puts your towel on the bed and just leaves it all day. If you're going to reserve a bed, make sure you use it. Some cruise companies are really good at managing this. For example, on the Anthem of the Seas, the pool attendants would go around and put a sticker on every chair that wasn't being used but was reserved. They would give you half an hour. If you hadn't visited and removed that sticker, then your stuff would be taken from your bed and put at the towel station. Tip number 9. The night before you disembark, you'll need to pack your cases and leave them outside your room for the porters to take down. You will see your cases the next day in the cruise terminal, so please do not cut your last night short. All you need to do is leave the clothes that you want to wear the next day in your room and a bag so you can put the night before's clothes in it. So the next day, all you need to do is walk off the ship, pick up your cases from the terminal building, and then put that bag inside your suitcase. It's the last night on the cruise ship, so please make sure you enjoy it. Tip number 10. If you booked your airport transfers with the cruise company, please ensure that you have a backup plan. We didn't do this when we was on the Anthem of the Seas sailing from New York, and 2 days before we was due to disembark, we was informed that our transfer had been cancelled because they did not sell enough tickets. This left us worried and potentially stuck in New York and not having a clue where we was going. It ruined our last day on the ship. Royal Caribbean were not helpful at all. We was told that there was nothing they could do and we would just have to make our own way. So please make sure you have a backup plan. Ultimately, it did work out cheaper than the Royal Caribbean transfer. However, it was a bit more of a stressful last day because we didn't know what to expect. In the end, we really enjoyed our last day. We got to walk around Central Park and enjoy a couple of the amazing landmarks that they have there. Well folks, I hope you found that video helpful. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment in the box below if you'd like to see more content. Don't be a stranger, I'll see you in the bar.